Hi anybody, I'm Luppi, and this is more Mario Minecraft. We are going to do stuff today. I say. Actually, you know what would have been really smart? Making a gosh darn shovel. Or two. We're going to set up this little desert area to be our... And we don't even have a... Fine. That's life. We're going to set up this desert area to be our... Where's my brain going? Oh, we only have diorite. We don't have cobblestone. That's correct. Ouch. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Gosh darn it. Okay. You know, we're stumbling here. Well, we'll get it figured out at some point. There we go. So, without further ado, let's level at this. I know that's a little boring, but that's fine. It's fine. At least with the wooden shovel, it goes a little bit quicker than just barehanded. So how are you guys today? Were you expecting us to do this? Actually, going through with this weird idea? I hear deserts are really good for Enderman hunting, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've had a really weird day. Like, the day before, I got to sleep for a long time. And today, I got to sleep for a normal amount of time, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. I'm like in this state of... I'm in this brain state of needing like 10 hours, I guess. And that just doesn't accommodate my day-to-day life. Saying that like a real weirdo. My day-to-day life doesn't I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say is I need more sleep. But I've gotten so much sleep, you know? I just don't understand why I need more. But that's something that happens sometimes. Sometimes you just... The 8 hours is it's a suggestion, you know? It's not an ironclad rule. Sometimes you just need to get your 12 hours of sleep in. Sometimes you just need to be more cat than man. Or woman. Or person. Does anybody pronounce person like person? I don't think anybody does, but if you do, more power to you. I believe we should all pronounce all the vowels wrong. Yep. We're gonna run out of shovels and we're not even gonna get this whole like little plain area straightened up. That's okay. We got a pickaxe, so we can acquire stone if we need it, and we can make some stone shovels. Also, it's gonna be night soon. Hooray. Hopefully we have a large enough area where we can do what we need to do. Although the reason that they pick deserts is simply for visibility. It's not like it's not like the Stilt Guys Endermen spawn here exclusively or better. And then I thought I saw some stone. There we go. Like, why mine so terribly deep for it when we can just acquire it from here? Works out for me. Yeah, probably another boring video. Unless we actually get this Enderman camp set up real quick and then actually get some good fighting in. That'd be... It would be unexpected, I would say. Because I usually expect things to go awry. A little wrong. Okay. We need to make a... shovel. There we go. Nice. I am unexpectedly impressed. And we do have a little baby sword. So that's cool. And we're gonna turn Oasis Bay Outpost into a enemy arena outpost, so that's cool. Look at that guy. All kitted up. Completely unaware of the extermination of the zombie people. Cool, cool. We leveled up. There we go. That's a little bit faster. Can you imagine having a diamond shovel though? Just chewing through all the sand. Whereas I feel like the gold one's the fastest one, right? But also wears out the fastest. Yeah, this will be fine. Definitely lasting a little bit longer than the wood ones. That's good. I feel like I had something else I wanted to talk about. I haven't been able to take a bath lately. Our water heater broke, so that's cool. You don't really think about how awesome hot water is on demand until you have no access to it. Other than like boiling it on the stove. Like I've taken a few cold baths. It's pretty cold out, so the water is also pretty cold. So when you move around, or at least when I move around, like I'm like screaming almost. I'm just like, you know, just very uncomfortable. You gotta prep yourself. It's like if you've ever been in a big lake, except instead of being able to submerge your whole body and get used to it, like you're submerging parts of yourself and getting used to it. So I don't know. Oh hey, another friend. Please don't punt me into the cactus. Hey, you're not even looking at me. That's cheating. What a filthy cheater. Okay. I'm not even mad. It is what it is. That how we... Yeah. Getting some of that sweet, sweet cactus. Okay, I don't know why that's like that. Little sand wall. We can imagine why, but we're not going to. But yeah, I guess the one thing I will say about like cold baths is they are pretty invigorating. Compared to hot baths, which are, you know, I could take a nap after a hot bath. I don't think I could take a nap after a cold bath. Take a cold bath and you're ready to go back outside and exercise some more. Take the whole 2-hour walk around the block, you know? At least the block I live on is huge. It takes like half an hour to go from one corner to another one. I'm not even kidding. I don't know, it could have been split up into like 2 pieces or 4 pieces. But, you know, that's just how it is. And you don't live in the city proper. Or when you live more in the country, I guess. the blocks become... They aren't really blocks, they're just parcels of land, not divided by streets. Yeah, I am excited. Things are looking okay, so that's good. I mean, I wish they could be better. I wish we had hot water. But that's not the worst thing. It's definitely livable. Like, I got a message from a friend today, and it was about a teacher that I never really had in high school, and it's like, I don't care about this stuff. I'm not involved in the community enough to know what's going on, so I will let the professionals make decisions. And if the community doesn't like that, then the community can work to rectify that or change it. I don't know, it's a really weird thing. And like, it wouldn't be the first time that a teacher got, like, I guess, preemptively removed from their position by the school district. That was kind of an issue too. There were a few teachers where they had incidents that weren't... I don't know, it's always a weird thing, because when you hear about, like, teacher unions and, like, the bad teachers not being able to be fought, like, you always hear about, like, the predator ones, but you don't hear about the ones where, like, the story is just, like, they got an accusation with no evidence, or they took a phone, or made a comment that they shouldn't have, like, and it doesn't have to be sexual, it just has to be, like, you know, maybe they called someone, like, a low-tier slur, and that's still terrible, like, you shouldn't, but, like, there's a difference between, like, sexually assaulting or harassing someone and, like, just making a comment about someone's weight or appearance. And I think that's one of those things where sometimes there needs to be some leeway, because, like, the schools do demand that teachers, like, enforce the rules, and do generally have rules about, like, what kind of appearance students should have. Like, that's always a big fight, you know, in school districts. Like, whether or not, like, students should be able to have, like, certain hairstyles, or be able to dye their hair, have piercings, or whatever, or, like, young lady skirts, or, like, I don't know. Like, sometimes it just seems like it's just a way to control people. Sometimes it does seem like, you know, this is a place to study. If you prepare yourself like you're ready to study, then you'll get more studying done. Like, we need to create a conducive environment for learning, and I understand that. But, like, at that point, like, why not just demand uniforms? Make everybody wear uniforms. And I know that's always a big debate too, because there's people who are pro-uniforms and people who are anti-uniforms. Both on, like, the administrative side and the student side. Like, personally, I'd be for uniforms. It would, I don't know, it does make things a little easier, not having to worry about what you're going to wear. At the same time, like, there's definitely reasons against it. Like, it does put a lot of the... Like, you have to wash them. You have to be on top of washing them. And it's not like there's a lot of tips that you don't learn about clothes. Like, if your parents don't teach you, if nobody teaches you, like, it's really easy to ruin clothes. And, like, uniforms, whether they're work or school, can be expensive. Like, sometimes they're not. Sometimes you just get a t-shirt with a logo on it, and, like, your work just buys them in bulk, so they just hand them out free whenever people ask for them, you know? And other times, they're, like, custom-made, tailor-made, like, custom stuff that are super expensive, and, you know, you gotta deal with it. Like, an issue I run into is one of my work shirts doesn't like one of my deodorants. And, like, all the other ones are fine. All the other work shirts, you know. But this one in particular, like, if I have any amount of deodorant on me, like, it just clumps up in, like, the seams in the armpits. And, like, I have to use baking soda and, like, get it up in the armpits and let it sit there for, like, a few hours and then scrub it out. And if that doesn't work, I have to go back with, like, soap and personally, like, scrub it out with a brush. Like, it's bad, and it's not like I'm just globbing on, like, deodorant. It's not like I'm just going up and down, like, 10 times, just having my armpits be, like, completely white, like a winter wonderland of artificial smells and detergent. No, it's just, you know, the usual whatever. And it's just that one shirt in particular. I don't know why. It's just made out of a clingy fabric, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a shame because it is a nice shirt. It's actually my favorite work shirt right now. And it might just be like, you know, I wear it more than the other ones. But none of them really experience the same issue, so I don't know. And there's a lot of other things, like, you know, back in the day, fabrics were made out of different materials, kind of, so if you mix colors, like, some of them would bleed into other ones, like, you know, the classic red, something red with something white, and everything, all the white stuff turns pink, you know? Like, that used to actually be a thing that happened. Not so much anymore. Or, like, darker clothes fading really bad over time, if you didn't, like, keep them together and wash them in cold water. Like, yeah, that's all stuff that used to happen. Okay, I guess we're gonna place the chest down again. At least until we start getting rid of the sand. And we got sticks, right? Or we can have sticks if we need them. But, I don't know. Like, it's definitely... And going back to, like, the original reason why we're talking about this, like, the school teacher, like, I don't know them enough to, like, make a character judgment. Like, you want to believe that it's just, like, the school board was, like, trying to, like, screw this person out of a pension or something. Or somebody on the administrative side just didn't like this teacher or doesn't believe, like, the non-sports stuff is worth it, you know? Because that's how it always goes. Get rid of your art teachers and your music teachers and your foreign language teachers. Like, who needs them? Especially with foreign language, it's not like the demographics of a country and state and, like, city change over time. It's not like we're gonna need to have some knowledge of a foreign language or other cultures, you know? Of course not. It's just gonna be white people forever. Nobody can take my Judeo-Christianity away from me. God, that's a weird loaded phrase. It's one of those things where, like, if you hear somebody say Judeo-Christianity, you can just ignore what they say. It's like liberal left, or not liberals, it's radical leftists too is another phrase like that. Also, radical conservatives is also another phrase, like, just little things where people reveal that they don't really know what they're talking about. Because, in the classical political discourse, and when we're talking about the mere theory of it all, like, leftists are radical and conservatives are reactive. So those would be the terms used. But, like, in popular nomenclature, like, radicals just, like, you know, like, it's a crazy person. They're just doing crazy crap all the time. not really fair to say about people, but you know, that's we all make assumptions based on our own biases. I don't know where I was going with that. We have biases, something something. Digging for sand is pretty boring. Mining stone is also kind of boring. School can be boring. I don't know, some parts of it are fun. Like, I enjoyed gym class. I enjoyed parts of gym class. Like, I enjoyed the camaraderie of being on a team. I enjoyed the victories that were shared. Did not enjoy the losses that were shared. Did not enjoy being hit in the face with a ball. Did not enjoy being hit in the face with balls, plural. I feel like that's most people though. Never got it as bad as some people though. Like, when I was in high school, there were some girls with piercings, and like, some of them lost piercings in dodgeball. That sounds incredibly painful. I can't imagine. It's not that I can't imagine. I've had my share of unfortunately painful incidents, but it's more that I don't want to. Oops, wrong thing. Wrong way, friend. There we go. Like, I've been hit in the face so hard with a random ball that it broke my glasses. Never been hit so hard that like I don't have any piercings, so that's why I've never had piercings fly out of my face. Like, I can't imagine. What a way to be. The things we put up with because everybody else does. And that way, high school, no matter what you learn, prepares you for the adult world of being disappointed and punished for just existing in the wrong spot. I don't know. The world's unfair. If you make a choice that seems right for you and it goes awry, you're an idiot. If you don't make a choice because you gotta think about other people, like, you're also an idiot. Like, unless you have money, you're an idiot, which is dumb. I don't know. The whole system seems a bit flawed. But, you know, at least we get to enjoy the unparalleled luxury that nobody in history has ever known other than us. That's pretty cool. Like, I think about it sometimes. Like, I've got 3 screens surrounding me when I record. I've got my TV, and then I've got my 2 iMacs. And that's the only reason I'm allowed to, like... I don't know. It's weird. It's not that the only reason I'm allowed to do this is just because, like, countless people who will never experience this luxury, like, literally worked for it so that I could have it. And that is kind of how it is, in a way. Like, that is the exploitativeness of... not materialism, but, I mean, it kind of is. Materialist society is inherently exploitative. It doesn't have to be, but in order for all those goods and services to be so cheap, it has to be a little exploitative. And we wouldn't have it any other way. We gotta have our $100, $200 TVs and our $1 Big Macs and our $5 footlongs. Do any of those things actually cost that much anymore? I feel like with the recent inflation, things are kind of all over the place. Man. One of the subways when I lived in the city Like they had like, what was it, like it wasn't like a buy one get one free deal on, maybe it was a buy one get one free deal on Fridays, or like one day was like sub day. So if you bought a foot long, you'd get like a foot long, or maybe it was like a half long, a 6-incher for free. And I made a lot of use out of that. It didn't keep me fed, but it definitely kept me coming back. But yeah, that's like, art students will always figure out the random ways to get free food from places. Like I knew a guy who would go to Jimmy John's and just like slap a $5 bill down and just get a whole like armful of like stale bread. Like that's pretty cool. I wish more places did that, and like I know that they can't like advertise that like as a selling point, because it would turn off a lot of people. Even though it is like an objectively cool thing to do to not waste food. But at the same time, like, it would turn off a lot of people, but it would also incentivize a lot of people just to take advantage of it, both within the corporation and within the community. I don't know. It's hard to talk about stuff like this without sounding like some guy who's like, yeah, and people don't deserve things ever. Or sounding like, yeah, everybody deserves everything all the time. I feel like both of those positions are pretty unreasonable. Although if we had to choose, I feel like everybody deserves everything always is the one that doesn't result in human beings being destroyed. So it's probably slightly better. If we add nuance, if we add stipulations, but then you have people being like, well, that just means testing. And yeah, the moment I gotta show a student ID to get that free Subway bread, that is, it's okay if the government's not doing it, right? And that's the point. I don't know. I don't know why we got onto this, because I was talking about teachers, and you can't talk about teachers without talking about the finance world. Jeez, why does my brain do this? I don't know. I guess I just need a distraction from everything. The destruction of this natural, beautiful world for my own weird, perverse goals. And I say perverse like, but really, we're just doing this in the dumbest way possible. That's all it is. We don't need to understand, we just need to do this in a way that is a little more efficient, probably. Like, I see the sandstone, and I realize, like, I'm not gonna mine that out, so that's kind of gonna be in the way at some point. So we're probably not gonna be able to get all of this nice and flat and even, so that's unfortunate. I'm also not a fan of how different the Minecraft screen looks from my TV to my computer. Because my TV, this is a very beautiful pink, whereas on my computer, it's a kind of gross orange. So, I don't know. Oh, hey, buddy. You're unarmed. I appreciate that. You're also alone. Of course. Why not? Let me eat something first. Let me recover my health. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, you're right there. There we go. Yeah, let's just leave both doors open at night. That is a genius idea. Perfectly reasonable. Oh, hey, I see a guy burning. I spent all of the last 2 days playing Smash Bros, and I finally got to a point where I got what I wanted done for this week. Done. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Your fancy helmet can't save you from me. Nice. Yeah. While I was playing it, I was playing Smash Bros, watching YouTube videos, and like some of them are just so bleak and depressing. Like I watched a good one by Nexpo about a plane crash, and that was sad. Like they lost control of the plane because like the tail exploded. It was a Japanese plane, and they struggled for hours to try to correct it apparently, and they crashed into a mountain, or at least from what I read, they crashed into like 2 different mountains that were close by each other, and then like only 4 people survived out of like 524. But a big part of that was it took rescuers like 12 hours to actually get there, because the military, when they were contacted, didn't think anybody would have survived the crash, so they didn't really make it a priority to like go out and explore and see if anybody needed help. Like that's so terrible. Like the survivor accounts are like, yeah, at first when we landed, you just heard like people screaming and children yelling for their parents and stuff, and then as the night wore on, like the sound went away. And that's kind of like the Titanic, where like the survivor accounts were basically pretty similar, where it's like at first you just heard like people screaming and crying for help and stuff, and then, you know, within an hour, as the hours wear on, like less people are alive to make the noise. I don't know. That's just something that weighs on a mind when you hear about it. That's all I can really like. I don't know. It's one thing to talk about like political theory and economic theory, and it's another one to like hear about like the results of, you know, like placing money, or not even money. Sometimes it's just about making sure everything's just going the same way as it's always been, no matter what. Like, I don't know. It was kind of neat, though, that it was a Boeing plane. I know they've been in the news recently for having subpar building standards, engineering standards. I don't know. I guess that's one thing I think about whenever people talk about on the media about we need to get rid of regulations. Like, they're usually there for a good reason. Usually it's not like people are like, yeah, you guys can't make a plane out of any part you got. You gotta use very specific parts, and they gotta be tested to withstand the forces that a plane would be expected to endure while it's, you know, taking off or landing. And like the big thing with the plane in the story was it had an incident like years before where the tail of the plane like crashed into the ground while landing, and that damaged like this part in the back that like maintains pressure or whatever, so it needs to be like pretty intact, you know. So the way to fix it was to use one plate and then like use multiple like rivets to like hold this plate to keep that thing from like exploding, basically. But apparently the people who repaired it used 2 plates, which basically reduced the power or the ability to maintain its form, I guess. I don't know. It's wild. And I guess since it was so long ago, we don't know if that choice was made just by like the engineers wanting to get it done, or if that was something that they were told to by their higher-ups, or maybe they just didn't know, like, you know, if one plate's good, why not 2 plates better? I don't know. Like, usually when you think of engineers, you think of people who are not just like going over designs, but also like capable of doing the big physics math and understanding like how much force an individual like component is going to be forced to endure, you know? But yeah, that's been on my mind. It's kind of a downer. Definitely a downer. It definitely makes sense why there's a lot of, or at least, maybe not a lot of, but there's a lot of manga where like the backstory of a character will be like they had a childhood friend or a parent die in a plane crash. Like, because that's not a very common thing that happens in real life. Like, planes are safer than cars. Some of that's just like, you know, you've got multiple people piloting a plane. They're kind of expected. Like, if a plane crashes, like, that's definitely going to ruin a company or impact, like, the prestige or brand. So they don't want that to happen. Like, it's worth it for them to have planes that don't have issues. Because even a minor thing, even something where everybody survives, like, that's still gonna make people think twice about using that airline and using that, like, writing on that plane brand. If they're people who can care about that stuff. A lot of people who fly can't. Like, you know, you just get on whatever plane they tell you to. You use whatever airline is in your area. That's how it goes. If you do have a choice, that's awesome. Not everybody does. But when it comes to cars, like, you know, you got one person behind the wheel, and you hope that yourself and everybody else are alert, paying attention, know what they're doing. But not everybody's all three. That's in this day where like, and it's not even about like phones. Like, even cars have touchscreens on them now, so that's wild. I don't know. I guess ultimately the path to success and survival is don't get distracted, but also don't be unlucky. So it doesn't matter how skilled you are, if you're in a losing situation, like, that's it. Sometimes life gives you a bad hand. And I guess that's kind of the cool thing about, like, I do rip on our society and our world and us as people a lot, but that is a really cool thing going for, like, human society, is we're increasingly moving towards, even if it doesn't seem like it, we're increasingly moving towards, like, people don't die to random things, which is good. I think that's great. The less, like, weird, inexplicable, and horrible stories we have about people, like, meeting horrible ends, I think that's great. We don't need more stories like that. We need people to live good, happy, long lives. And also maybe get all that plastic out of the environment and out of her bloodstream. That'd be cool too. That'd be a neat little side effect about like creating like bacteria that eat plastic. If they just started living in animals and eating the plastic that like builds up in our bodies and becoming like little parasites that actually are. I mean, if it's doing a good thing, it's not really a parasite. But you know, being a little cooperative little friend. Not every scientific advancement in change has to be like a zombie apocalypse level thing. At the same time, like, I don't think movies like I Am Legend or 28 Days Later can be blamed for the modern anti-vaxxing movement. Like, you read like old paper. If you read old media, like we're talking like 1900s, late 1800s stuff, like anti-vaxxing has existed the entire time we've had vaccinations. So I don't know. It's definitely a little understandable. Like at one point, it was an entirely new science. It does seem a little suspicious that somebody would want to like inject something into your blood. But I think we have a lot of evidence that it's a positive thing, that lives improve. And there isn't really any literature that it's not positive. Yeah, I am pro-vaccination. Like I'm generally pro medical science. There are definitely things where you have to like take certain kinds of papers with a grain of salt, you know. Like I've talked about before, like any paper done about like supposed health things that's trying to. And it doesn't have to be trying to get you to buy a product, but it is trying to get you to think about like certain things that are things you could buy. Generally are paid for like a company that will profit from it. Like the food science stuff is really bad about this, where like if it's an anti-sugar campaign, it's by like foods that don't have sugar in them or are allegedly sugar-free. If it's anti-fat, it's probably like candy companies and like companies that load everything up with like sugar. I don't know. Or even like a better example would be, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but I have. And this is people talking about like chemicals in the water. And like usually what they mean is like fluoride. But they'll also talk about like, you know, how all the plastic, the BPA or whatever, the BPD, I don't remember, whatever one of the plastic chemicals is that's in water nowadays. They'll talk about how that's like turning everyone into girls or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's working on me that well. I would appreciate not having facial hair. I hate shaving so much. I have delicate face skin. If I shave every day, it starts to bleed. So I shave every other day. So I look like garbage every like 2 or 3 days. And that's just how it is. And I would appreciate not having like, and it would be fine if I could like grow a beard, but I cannot grow a beard. And also like, literally all the hair on my body is like a different color. And it's not really a different color, like, it's just how long it is makes it look different. Like my short hairs are like basically black, and then basically as they get longer, they get lighter in color. And I feel like that's pretty normal for a lot of people. It's not like something that's unique to me. But like people will always be like, if I have any facial hair, they'll be like, wow, it's weird that you're like It's weird that your like beard. It's not even. It's never ever a beard. I can't really grow a full beard, but they'll be like, yeah, your face hairs are like red. It's like, no, that's just how they look right now. Let them grow out, and they'll be kind of like the head hair. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not a fan of my own facial hair. Don't confuse this statement for like I'm against beard hair in general. Like, I've got a lot of friends with beards. I've also got a few friends with beards, you know? Like, that's just how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I feel that way about hats though. Like, if you don't have the proper style for like how you look, it's easy to be like, oh yes, face hair is, I just look bad with face hair. And it's like, maybe you just don't have the right style for it. Maybe you just gotta trim it close or let it curl or, you know, figure out a way to style it. It's like hats. Gotta find a nice hat for your face shape and for your personal style. Gotta let them both really be nice. Or just wear what you want, you know? If you want to be like going out in the cat in a hat or like in a football helmet, like, more power to you. I like that about the Koopa Troop. It's like they just do whatever. You got like, none of them are American. They're from Dinosaur Island. They're from the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, you got Charging Chuck in a football uniform. You got the little wizard guys. Koopa Troop is pretty awesome. Bowser just goes around naked with like some armbands, some spiked bracelets, you know? Maybe he polishes his shell. Make sure his horns are nice and pointy. Like, does Bowser have a horn stylist? Does he have to... Does he go around, like... Does he have somebody whose job is specifically just to, sharpen his horns? I think that'd be a cool idea. Give me an Animal Crossing game where we play as, like, the Koopa Troop in Bowser's Castle. Like, you're never sent on missions against Mario, so you don't get game overed, but all your, like, quote-unquote villagers are just, like, other people in the Koopa Troop who do. So it's not that they're moving away, they're just getting deployed. That would be a really weird, a potentially very poignant look into Mario and the implications of its lore. Which is why Nintendo would never allow it to exist. We can't think about Mario lore, we gotta just keep playing the games, ding dong. Why aren't you buying the 3D games and the 2D games? You have to enjoy both. There's room enough for both. And I know that's kind of a statement by the director of Super Mario Wonder, but also it's something I do kind of agree with. Like, if you like Mario, you like Mario. And I know there are people who don't like the 2D games, and I know there are people who don't like the 3D games. Like, I understand it. As somebody who grew up with both, especially growing up with both when it was like the Super Mario NES games and then the Super Mario 64, completely skipped World. I read the player's guide for it a bunch of times, but never actually owned it until I got the Game Boy Advance re-release. Yeah, I don't know. I like Mario. It's a good game franchise. I would love to see more of it. Knowing that we get like a spin-off game every year. But there's only so much Mario and Sonic at the Olympics you can play. Which for me is none. I've never actually... I don't own any of the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. It's just not a game that ever appealed to me. Like, I thought it was really cool. Like, it's a really cool idea. Like, you know? On one hand, it's Mario and Sonic burying the hatchet, Nintendo and Sega working together. On the other hand, it is a perfect chance to let these characters be really like catty to each other. And let the little gamerlings continue to have their gamer wars about which is better, Sega or Nintendo. Even though Nintendo is kind of a different company than it was in the 90s. And Sega is a very different company than it was in the 90s. I don't know. I guess it's going to be exciting to see where things go in the next 20 years. I say, ignoring that it's been like 30 years since the 90s. I took psychic damage from that one. I took a lot of psychic damage from that off statement that I didn't really think about saying. Yeah, you guys watch anything cool on YouTube? Anything educational? Anything that got you feeling certain ways? I don't know. Like, I don't really pay attention when I'm, like, playing games to the YouTube stuff I'm watching. Like, sometimes things stick with you. Like, I was literally, like, stopping what I was doing to listen to that Nexpo video about that plane. Like, that was... And it's not the plane, it's the people inside. Like, the passengers who didn't know what the heck was going on. The pilot, co-pilot, and engineer who were desperately trying to get some sort of control over this plane, trying to get this thing to a less than catastrophic landing. I don't know. And sometimes, like, there are videos like that on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that covers darker topics. I've definitely watched more than my fair share of videos that bummed me out for a while just because, like, I don't know. You just hear certain things and it makes you appreciate what you have, I guess. And it also kind of makes you, like, upset that people had to go through what they've gone through. And angry that often the reason for that is, like, nobody could be bothered, or because the profit money must flow. Like, one of those things that'll really, like, drive you wild is, like, reading about, and this is a different tone of the topic, reading about how much supplies are loaded up onto, like, big ships. Like, especially, like, even back in the day, like, what's his pants? The guy who went around the world, or almost went around the world. It wasn't was it Magellan? Magellan is the one who went almost around the world. But there was another guy who did a really good voyage. Captain Cook, that's the one. Like, just reading about, like, the random supplies that he had. And just how much, like, cheese and veggies and water were, like, stored on the ship. Like, if you read it out, like, it starts to become really comical because, like, it's really hard to understand, like, why people would need, like, literal tons of stuff until, like, you think, like, they were on the ocean for months with no access to, like, resupply lines. Like, they were literally forging ahead in terms of exploration. Am I gonna make the cactus extinct? Maybe. But, we're not gonna try to. Yeah, that guy's on fire. Sucks to suck. Sucks to suck, idiot. Wait, was that a friendly neighborhood? I know we can't actually kill them during the daytime because they don't get close enough to. Okay. There we go. Excellent. Hey, there's a pumpkin. I remember when I first started playing Minecraft on my original, like, MacBook world, and struggling so much. It was so hard to find just one pumpkin. Like, I had to go so far out in the world just to do it. Alright, where'd Stilt Boy go? Trying to follow along, but I'm not. Oh. Hello, friend. That hurt. But you're also in pain. Hey, doggy. Hello, Poochie. I do have bones. So you can be my adventure buddy. Well, that's an appropriate noise, I suppose. Okay. Got a lot of sand, though. Got so much sand. Oh, wow. It's already been an hour? What the heck? No way. I haven't even done anything, though. We didn't even talk about anything real. Well, I mean, other than that plane, I keep bringing that up. It's on my mind. And it's never gonna stop being on my mind, I say, until I forget about it. You need to get out of there, dog. Come on, Poochie. Okay. Come on, Poochie. There we go. I don't know how far I want to go with this. I feel like that's probably far enough. There we go, Poochie. I never really played with the wolves in Minecraft. Like, I'd get them, but I never really did anything with them because I always feel bad when they die. And they do like to die in weird ways. They like to get struck by lightning. They like to accidentally fall down a ravine. I'm just hearing those. I'm hearing those Hammer Brothers growl in hunger. Maybe I finally heard them expire. I don't know. Nope, there's still one somewhere underground. Yeah, I am not a fan of... Not a fan of certain things in Smash Bros. I'm playing Mr. Game & Watch recently, and man, I don't like how it doesn't take much for him to fly away. It really doesn't. And I get that. He's got a weird kit in terms of attacks. So it makes sense for someone of his size to be a little lighter. But man, he just, you know, he gets hit by 3 things and he's gone. I can't wait to play as Jigglypuff and just get one good hit and just get launched off the stage. It's gonna be beautiful. But at least Jigglypuff has some big moves, and I can also just have some maneuverability, you know? Like, we all gotta appreciate the little puffball that can roll. I wonder how a Jigglypuff Dark Souls run would go. Probably be fine. Might not be might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it'd be something. Okay, you need to get out of there again, friend. You are getting in my way. And it's not like it's a big deal. Hey, you learned. Nice. I appreciate it. I had a name tag. I'd name you... Doomed. That's mean. Okay. We're slowly getting somewhere, but not fast enough, I feel. We really wanted this whole area. Why'd you push me? Why'd you do it, friend? Although I feel like we've made it a wider area. And honestly, I feel like the real thing is we don't want it to be close enough where the Endermen can like just warp away to a forested area. Like we might want to chop down those trees there. I don't know. We'll see. We will have to see. But I suppose we'll get rid of this and call it a day. Cry that we didn't really get as much done as we would have hoped. But at the same time, like, we did get a fair amount worked out, I guess. It's fine. And if you're young and still figuring things out, like ask people or look up on the internet how to properly care for your clothes. It's a useful skill to have, and it's something I don't even have. Usually I just throw everything into the wash together. I don't usually care too much, you know? And I realize this. I realize every time I say it, but I really need to stop saying, you know. It's like a verbal tick. I'm bad about, like, Oops, sorry, Dougie. Very bad about, like, acquiring those kinds of verbal tics, though. Like, even if it's not just saying, or like, or, you know, it's like, I'll say a weird, like, catchphrase kind of thing, and then just have that be my response to everything. Like, for a period when I was in college, like, my default response was like, oh boy, oh man, oh boy. So people would just start saying it back to me, like, preemptively. And that's what got me to stop. Like, I was really embarrassed when people started, like, pointing it out. So maybe that's what I need. I just need people to be like, you say this a lot, and you need to stop. But we're not going to actually put it in those words. We're just going to say what you say in a tone of voice that makes you self-conscious. And maybe that's mean. Maybe we don't need to be, like, bullied for the things that come out of our mouths. Sometimes you do. Sometimes, you know, you make a comment that's like, yeah, I am pro people being hurt. And you do need to be bullied a little bit. Or, yeah, like, I'm pro... like, I don't know, there's so many garbage opinions. You can think of your own. I don't want to hear your garbage opinions, but if you know people with them, also don't tell me, because I probably also know about people with those same bad opinions. Maybe even the same person. Maybe we are thinking of the same people. And that would be unfortunate. There's no reason that horrible people should occupy space in more people's brains than they should. An appropriately vague statement to keep the mental brainworms of horrible things being said on the internet to a bare minimum. Alright, doggy, do you want to come in here? I guess they don't get to. Do I have more stone? I do have more stone, and I do have more stick. I can have more stick. I have as much stick as I want. Within reason, of course. There goes my stomach growling. Okay. I did the silly? Okay. Wait, I already... Oh, I already have stick. That's why. I'm a real goof. Well, I am hearing our dog friend swim around. That's always a little alarming. We're gonna divide up our time between placing sand down and digging more up. And I will say, like, from last time recording with, what is it, whatever the Apple media app is, like, QuickTime. That actually went pretty well. Like, I'm not a fan of the file size being, like, 9 gigs for, like, an hour and a half, but you know what? Sometimes that's just a concession we make. Sometimes that's just the way life goes. Video file sizes are big. That's just the way it is. I didn't make the rules, I just cry about them every day. And now I know why people would pay like $3,000 for a 10 terabyte solid state hard drive. Golly. I can't imagine that because, like, that would be a pain to back up once you got that thing, like, slightly full. Like, I don't even want to think about it. Like, you need good backups because you never know. But, man, 10 terabytes. I don't know, like, this is going to be one of those things where it's like, nowadays, it's you know, who could imagine needing that much storage? But at the same time, it's like, you'll need it at some point. Like back in the day when, like, oh yeah, you're only gonna need like 4 gigs, not 4 gigs, 4 megs of RAM. Like, what are you, like, a bad coder? And nowadays, it's like, yeah, if you don't have like Yeah, if you don't have more than 16 gigs, like, you're kind of being left in the dust. 32 is starting to look like it's not even the standard anymore, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, people are wild. Meanwhile, you'll also have people in the same, like, thread being like, nah, man, like, if you know what you're doing, you can get by with 8 gigs of RAM. It's fine. It's all about your other components. You don't want to be locked into a bad, like, into an unupgradable, like, motherboard or GPU. Just deal with it. I don't know. I'm not a PC person. That's just an over a decade of being locked into Apple stuff, you know. Like we've only got the choice between like you can buy an older one with an Intel chips, you can buy one of the newer ones with the Apple M2 silicone chips, you know, like that's it. If you don't like the performance, sucks to suck. You better hope you're only running Apple approved software. Oh. And he only gave me gold. Hello, doggy. You're trying your best. But these are dangerous areas for both of us. They're not quite treacherous waters. They're not quite on our side either. Yeah, we just got a gold ingot. Not like I'm gonna complain, but I would like more tridents. I would appreciate more tridents. Do I see another drowned in the water? Do I see another drowned bones? Or is that a fish? Oh hey, he's got another trident. Oh, there's one. Give me your bodies. Give me your goods. They did give me their meat. But I wanted their material possessions. Does that make me a bad person, coveting the tridents of my neighbors? My seafaring, river-faring, aggressive, horrible neighbors. Thou shalt not cover thy dead neighbor's trident. I mean, if they're capable of fighting you, if they're capable of self-determination, however basic, I think they're alive. They're not quite dead. Only mostly dead. Man, it sure feels like we're gonna go back to the Nether next time and die a bunch of times. Having achieved nothing. Just to break up the monotony. At the same time, like, once we get to a point where we can actually, like, slay beasts in the dark, it'll be fine. It'll be cool, I guess. It'll be something. And once we have all those pearls and all those eyes, we'll figure it out. That'd be my goal. To find a stronghold. Hopefully it's got a portal we can use, and hopefully there's more than one stronghold if that's the case, where like the portal's busted. That'd be so upsetting. That wouldn't even be fair. This world's so small. How could you do this? Oops, sorry, buddy. I didn't see you. You know, though, all this dog playing around, it reminds me that I had a dream recently where I was like, I don't know if I was babysitting or if I owned like a, what are they called? The little Kermit dogs. I want to say they're English Greyhounds, like the little gobbledygoos. Like I was babysitting one of those, and it's just like, I don't know. I took it for like a little walk outside, and it was a very good dog. So that was kind of nice. I don't know if that's how they are in real life, because I've only really seen them from videos of people who post them online. So you never really know how an animal's gonna interact with you in real life. Like even if the species is usually pretty chill, like, you know, every individual animal has its own preferences, its own personality. Also, like my parents' dog, I let him outside yesterday technically, and I went to pick up a package that was on our porch, and he ran right into me, and it was like getting punched in the face. His head is so hard. His skull is like, that's just how golden retriever skulls are though, like they're hard. But yeah, I was upset. I know, I was kind of in shock too. I was upset and in shock. Like, you don't expect to just get like walloped in the face by an animal just running into you. And he was just perfectly fine, perfectly normal. The only bump on his head is the one that's just naturally imprinted on his stupid skull. But we have fun sometimes. I really wish, though, he was better trained. I really wish my parents would take him to like some sort of doggy day camp or whatever, some doggy boot camp thing. Cause like, he just barks for no reason. And like I've talked about this before, but like, he really needs a lot of attention, and he just doesn't get it. Like, I work third shift, so when I'm home and awake, like, he's not. Sometimes we overlap. But like during the day, it's like, you know, we got two people here. Why can't one of them just focus on the dog and the other do what needs to be done? I don't know. It's a bit upsetting. It's a bit sad, that's what it is. It's not upsetting, it's just sad. Especially when you like hear other people's stories of like, yeah, I loved my dog, but like, I wasn't able to give them what they needed in terms of like attention every day. Like I have to work or whatever, so I had to give them up. They're doing really good in their new home though. I wish I could have kept my dog. That's always really tragic. And that's another and those people are other casualties of capitalism. And the unsustainable expectations of working a 9-to-5. Or working more. Oh my gosh, that's the dog's face. I just realized that's the dog looking in. Hello, friend. Hello, buddy. That's kind of scary. I'll need a pickaxe for these guys. I'm gonna be really disappointed that this does not yield as many, as much, oops, sorry. You gotta stay out of my way, friend. I know that's me blaming you when it's really I need to be blamed. I am the one with agency. You're just a video game character. You don't have a soul. You don't have determination. You are merely a flowey in my frisk world. I don't know, that's a little sociopathic to say there, I think. You're just the Flowey in my Frisk world. Problematic. Oh, it'll be fine. There we go. Modern problems require modern solutions. Oop. Hello, doggy. There we go. And honestly, we should fill in this pond. I don't want to. But it's something we should do, I suppose. Well, we're preparing this area for our ultimate whatevers. And we really do need another pickaxe or two. There we go. And then we can get rid of this, we can get rid of more of this. Get rid of these. Call it good. I heard a skeleton, I think. I might not have, but I think I did. Sometimes that's all that matters. Stone on stone violence. How unfortunate. Man, I'm really enjoying playing as a Mr. Game & Watch, other than like how quickly I get smoked, like utterly just blasted out of the way. Like when things go well with Mr. Game & Watch, like they go really well. When things go awry, they go really awry. And it can be frustrating. Like, I think the worst matchup I've encountered so far was against Byleth. Like, I was stuck playing them for like hours. It was horrible. I don't know if I even got any good like fights. Oops, sorry. Once again, we hit you, and that's my fault. Apologies, doggy. That's on me. But yeah, Byleth was a pain because they have a lot of big flashy attacks, and then they have some grabby attacks. The nice thing is though, some of them, like the ones that don't like smash down or like swing up, like you can just crouch as Mr. Game & Watch and just dodge like that stupid like arrow thing they got. And some of their like some of their swipes you can like just crouch and dodge too. Like it's hilarious. Like I really wish I would have been able to pull more of that off. Because I find it pretty funny. Like that's also why I like Pichu and Pikachu as well. Like there's a lot of attacks where they just, if you just crouch, you're just automatically dodging. It's not even dodging, you're just there. And the attack doesn't even register. Doesn't even touch your hitbox. Hello. I didn't hit you that time. Lucky dog. Lucky Poochie. What's wrong? Are you hungry? Well, we got some zombie. We got some meat, bad meat, in the old Caverino. So once we get this area knocked out, we'll feed the dog and I'll call it a day. I think think that's how it's gonna go. And I don't think I'm gonna worry about anything that isn't... Like, if it's... Oh, we still gotta go... I don't know. Still gotta go one more, I guess. That's a pain. Maybe we'll just see if we can't... There we go. I hear you, pup. I hear you. Sorry. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I hear you. Let's go to the outpost. Let's get you some food. Let's heal you up. I thought I had... There we go. Partake of the flesh. Alright, that must mean he's... He, she, they are okay. They definitely lost a lot of HP though. And that was almost entirely my own fault. Yikes. Not a positive thing to do to our friendly pet friend. A bunny? Oh wow. Hey, you're not going into angry mode. Because I tamed you, I guess, right? And hopefully next time we can have this area kind of set up so we can get a nice little arena set up and slay some enemies. We can grind for those ender pearls. Hooray. It's really just what I'm concerned about. Like, they're gonna be the thing that kind of stands in the way. I can manage to get blaze rods pretty easily. Pretty easily, I say. Remembering everything we lost in our weird grudge match against the Blazes, our local nether neighbors. Oh well. We do what we can here. We also try what we can't, unless I feel defeatist about it before we even start. Sometimes we do stuff anyways, you know? Sometimes, no matter what, we just gotta do our best. Okay. And we don't have a sword anymore, do we? Okay. That would be something that would be nice to have. Come on. It's night, so why aren't we seeing anything evil? I hear a skeleton. I see a pokey. Come on. Give me a minor win here. Oh, hey, a bone. See a zombie. Had to stop and think. Is it something we can attack? Nope. Okay. Alright. You kind of got me there, buddy. I just want... What are you holding? Is that your trident? Doesn't look like it. Huh. Weird. Of course, we're never gonna win a battle against a stilt guy with a shovel, so... Alright, it's like, what am I even doing? Come on in here. Gucci, come on. Where'd you go? Alright. Whatever. We played around for far too long. Yeah, we did something, I guess. It was not... Still not enough, unfortunately. But I will get there. We'll get there. Heck, this might be a good spot to just set up a little dumb platform. I don't know. Try to get rid of some of that water. So we don't have all the drowns surrounding us all the time. And we'll call it good. Okay. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
No.